If you're trying to build your web presence by educating people on your destination, it can be very helpful to see your city through the eyes of someone who's never been there before. And if you've lived in a city or a place for a while, you know everything is. It's a little bit difficult to remember what it was like when you first visited. And so I think Flickr is a great tool to look at your destination through the eyes of someone who's visiting for the first time. If you're not familiar with this site, it's a photo sharing website where people upload photos. It's very popular with travelers, and it's just, I think it's the #1 photo sharing site right now. So I'm going to walk you through a few ways that you can use Flickr to get a feel for what's interesting in your city. So here we are on the Flickr homepage. Let's type in a keyword, Berlin for example, and we're going to click search, and we're going to pull up a list of photos about Berlin. And by default, these photos will be sorted by relevancy, what Flickr feels are the most relevant results for that search term. You can also sort it by recent photos and most interesting ones. I would recommend running through each of these different search types just to get a feel for what people are taking photos of. The most recent ones can be interesting because it's not just the professional photographers. You get a lot of amateurs, a lot of vacationers, a lot of people on holiday that are taking photos and uploading them. Maybe they don't have a huge fan base, maybe the photos aren't excellent quality, but you can get a feel for what they found interesting in your city or your destination. And then of course, if you sort by interesting, you get a lot of very talented photographers and a lot of high quality images. And you may even want to try to do a deal with these people to get some of these images for your website or your promotional material. But of course, if it's not under a Creative Commons license, you need to contact them and get permission first. So I would recommend running through each of those types of searches. There's a few other things that I would explore as well. One of them being groups, which are collections of photos. There's some very popular groups out here. Here we can see the biggest Berlin group has 7,655 members, over 130,000 photos. You can also see some popular photographers that live in that destination. I would recommend taking a look at their work, some of their galleries of the city, and getting a feel for what they saw as interesting. You can search by tag and then also by places, and I think places is interesting because it brings all of this together. So we're going to click on Berlin here. You'll get some interesting photos here, and you can also sort it by recency. So it sort of replicates what we did on the search. You'll get Flickr groups about Berlin, Berlin by night, anything Berlin, the center of Berlin, and this may be interesting if you have the hotel in this neighborhood, because you can see in your specific neighborhood what do people find interesting. Again, featured photographers are here as well, but I'm going to click on the map because Flickr has a really nice geolocation tool that you can use to sort of drill down and see where people are taking photos. And this is, I think, one of the most underused aspects of Flickr. If you're creating an online guide or an introduction to your city for some reason, you want to see what are the highlights. And every city has some sort of major tourist attractions, the Eiffel Tower, the Golden Gate Bridge, that everyone is going to visit. But I think the real power in online publishing is presenting an insider's view of what's interesting in your city. And so if you can use this to see where there's clusters of activity, where people are taking a lot of photos, you may be able to discover some of these places. And you can click on each of these pink dots and you'll get a photo. And you can get, obviously, some of the more popular attractions in your city will have large clusters of photos, but as you drill down to the neighborhood level, you might be able to find interesting things that maybe even you don't know about in your city. So I would highly recommend using Flickr Maps as a way to explore your city and ultimately put together an insider's destination guide to what people should see and maybe some suggested activities as you build a custom itinerary for them.